So here we'll be discussing about scattering losses and bending losses which occur in optical fibers. So first thing, if I consider a scattering loss, it exists in optical fiber because of microscopic variation in the material density and composition. So normally, if I consider this in terms of losses, scattering losses normally exist due to the changes, small variation, which are microscopic variations in the fiber material in terms of density and composition. So as a glass is composed of a randomly connected network of molecules and several oxides, we can consider this uh, in terms of different materials which are composed for a glass material, so that we are using this composition for the fabrication of a glass pipe. So there might be fluctuations or what we call it as variation in the composition and structure. And the loss which causes due to this is Rayleigh scattering loss. And these two effects results to the variation in the refractive index. Normally, when we consider the refractive index of the material, the refractive index of the materials are found to be different, so that the refractive index of a core and the refractive index of cladding are different. But it affects the refractive index of either the core or a cladding, or maybe both. So there should not be any variation in the refractive index due to these scattering losses in the fiber. So, so Rayleigh scattering of light occurs due to the small localized changes in the refractive index of the core and the cladding material. So whenever the light is guided into the optical fiber, it should exhibit reflection or refraction, and it has to propagate throughout the entire length of the fiber without any variation in the light characteristics. But due to the localized changes, which are a microscopic variation in the fiber material, which is affecting the refractive index of the core and the cladding, the light scatters into the optical fiber. And normally this occurs due to the manufacturing or fabrication of the fiber. The first is due to the slight fluctuation in mixing of the ingredients. If the ingredients are what we call it as a compositions are not properly mixed, there might be some slight changes or fluctuation. That may be a result, or that may be one of the cause for this Rayleigh scattering to happen. The random changes because of this are impossible to completely eliminate. So that is what happens. Random changes which occur due to the fluctuation is very difficult to eliminate. The other cause is slight change in the density as the silica cools and solidifies. So whenever the fabrication of fiber has to be done, the silica has to be heated, and whenever the silica has to be heated and it is solidified, means that on cooling, it is going to change its state from solid to liquid, liquid to solid. So there might be slight change in the density whenever there is change in the state. So that is the possibility, or that is a cause for scattering again. So when light strikes such zones uh, with the variation or with the changes, then the light gets scattered in all the directions. It shouldn't happen because the light has to propagate in a particular medium. And the amount of scattering normally depends on the size of the discontinuity compared with the wavelength of a light. So what The amount of scattering depends. It depends on the size of discontinuity. So if the variations are more, which is affecting the refractive index more and more, the scattering is very high. So graphically, if I represent this, there is a relation which can be done between the wavelength and the Rayleigh scattering losses. So this is how it looks like. The scattering loss is going to be uh, reduced if I consider the wavelength to be very high. So that is a problem if we consider scattering losses. So if the operating wavelength is very less, the loss is very high, and if I increase the operating wavelength, then the loss is uh, reduced. So the scattering loss for a single component and multi-component glass can be considered, and this is the expression which expresses a scattering loss for a single component glass, that is represented as alpha scattering. So that is the scattering loss, which is equal to 8 pi cube into n square minus 1 the whole square, n square minus 1 the whole square into kb into tf into beta t nipers, where n is the refractive index, kb is the Boltzmann constant, beta t is the isothermal thermal compressibility of the material which is used in the fiber, and tf is a fictive temperature. We consider it as fictive temperature, which is the temperature at which the density fluctuations are frozen into a glass as it solidifies. So whenever the state of a glass, whenever it is heated, it is in a liquid form and it has to be changed to a solid form. And this temperature at which the liquid changes to solid is used as a fictive temperature here, where the density fluctuations are frozen into a glass as it is going to be solidified. So another form of an equation is considered to be alpha scattering is 8 pi cube by 3 lambda power 4 into n power 8 p square into kb tf bt beta t meters. And again here p is the photoelastic coefficient of the glass. So scattering loss for single component is this, and scattering loss for a multi-component glass is given by this particular equation. Alpha scattering is 8 pi q by 3 lambda power 4 into delta n square into delta v, where delta n squared is represented as is referred as mean square refractive index fluctuation, and delta V is volume of a particular fiber which is undergoing a scattering loss. And multimode fibers have higher dopant concentration and greater compositional fluctuations. So that is what we consider. And the overall loss in these fibers are more as it is compared to a single mode fiber. And we represent Rayleigh scattering with respect to the attenuation using a Rayleigh scattering coefficient, so that it is related to the transmission loss factor, or what we call it as transmissivity of the fiber. And the relation is this Rayleigh scattering coefficient is exponential of minus gamma r into gamma r is the Rayleigh scattering loss, and this is the Rayleigh scattering coefficient. So using that formula, we can find what is the Rayleigh scattering coefficient, what is the transmission loss factor, or what is the Rayleigh scattering loss. So this is a silica has a estimated active temperature of 1400. So TF is 1400 Kelvin specified in a given problem, with an isothermal compressibility of 7 into 10 power minus 11 meter square per Newton. So it is isothermal compressibility of a material given. The refractive index is given as 1.46 and photoelastic coefficient is given as 0.286. So using these data specified or given, we have to determine the theoretical attenuation in dB per kilometer. So attenuation can be determined if we know the transmission loss factor or transmissivity of a fiber. And in order to get the transmission loss factor or transmissivity of a fiber, we should know what is the Rayleigh scattering loss. Rayleigh scattering loss is obtained by this particular equation or formula. And we have to determine the attenuation in dB for a scattering which is operating at a wavelength of 0.63 micrometer, 1 micrometer and 1.3 micrometer with the Boltzmann constant is given as 1.381 into 10 power minus 21 joules per Kelvin. So on substitution we get what is the Rayleigh scattering, and once we know the Rayleigh scattering we can find what is gamma R, and once we know what is gamma R we can find what is the transmission loss factor in a fiber. So this is how we determine, and these are for the different cases of lambda, 1 micrometer, 1.3 micrometer and 0.8 micrometer. So the losses are different for a different operating wavelength. So initially it is 0.8 dB per kilometer for wavelength of 1 micrometer, and it is going to be reduced to 0.3 dB per kilometer if the operating wavelength is increased to 1.3 micrometer. So it means that as the operating wavelength is increased, the attenuation is going to be dropped or reduced. Then we have Mie scattering. So this is also termed as linear scattering. Whatever we have discussed earlier are non-linear scattering. So in a linear scattering, we see that there are it occurs at inhomogeneities, and these arise from the imperfections in the fiber geometry. So normally we have seen that earlier there might be slight variations or imperfections in the optical fiber structure, or what we call it as the fiber's geometry, and it may be due to different factors. One is irregularities in the refractive index of a core and cladding. So there might be irregular structure in the refractive index of core and cladding. So that is the first cause. Second is core cladding refractive index difference along the fiber length. So we have already discussed about this. This is a delta. Delta is a problem if I go with core and cladding. Then diameter fluctuations and presence of bubbles and etc. Some other reasons. So diameter fluctuations. So whenever I say an optical fiber, the diameter of the optical fiber should be constant throughout its length. It should not change with its length. So there should not be any diameter fluctuations. And the presence of bubbles. So there might be some presence of air bubbles in a fiber. So this air bubbles can be due to some other imperfections which is leading in the process. And normally it is caused due to the fabrication or manufacturing process. So whenever there is proper refinement technique or proper fabrication process involved, so these fluctuations in the diameter can be reduced. So it can be reduced by what? Removing imperfections due to the glass manufacturing process. So imperfections has to be removed. So whatever manufacturing process involved in this, it should be perfect time. Then careful controlled extrusion and coating of the fiber. Even though the manufacturing process are properly done, fabrication of a fiber is done properly, but there might be some uh, process which is called as fiber preparation process, in which there should be careful and controlled extrusion which is to be done on a fiber, and also the coating of the fiber should be done so that it should not affect the fiber characteristics. Then increasing the fiber guidance by increasing the relative refractive index difference. So the fiber guidance, so it can be increased by increasing the value of delta. That is, relative refractive index difference plays a very important role in the guiding of light in an optical fiber. Then we have fiber bend loss or fiber bending losses. Losses due to curvature and the losses which are caused by the abrupt change, or what we call it as sudden change in the radius of curvature, they are referred to as bending loss. So losses due to the curvature, we call it as radius of curvature changes, or sudden change or abrupt change may cause the bending loss to happen in a fiber. And sharp bend of a fiber can cause significant loss in terms of radiation, and it may lead to some mechanical failure. So radiation occurs due to the sharp bending of fiber, which may damage the optical fiber, which is normally a mechanical failure. Then optical fibers suffer radiation losses at the bends or curves on their path. So optical fibers normally undergo radiation loss at bending point or at curves. But why? This is due to the energy which is in that particular field which is at the bend. It is called as evanescent field. The field is created at a bending surface or at a bending point or a curved point of an optical fiber, which is evanescent field. So there is some energy which gets created in this field whenever the fiber is bent beyond a particular radius of curvature. So that has to be avoided. So in that evanescent field, the signal exceeds the velocity of light in the cladding. So this is a problem in the evanescent field if it is created due to the bending of an optical fiber. The signal is going to exceed the velocity of light in the cladding, and due to which the light energy is radiated from the fiber, so resulting in bending losses. The radiation loss from a bent fiber is dependent on two factors. One is the field strength at that particular point where the fiber is bent, or there is a curved surface in a fiber, and the power is lost due to radiation. Second is the radius of curvature, denoted as R. So radius of curvature is also a factor which is creating a radiation loss in a fiber. So this is the bending loss which occurs. The light ray is emitted from the optical source, and the light is incident onto a particular surface of the optical fiber within the core, and the light exhibits the reflection process, and you can see that the light gets radiated, which is the escaped ray here, or radiated ray, into the cladding surface. The light gets radiated into the surface, and some part of the light can or may enter the core. Some part of that may radiate or escape through the cladding surface, which results in the bending loss. So whenever there is a curve or whenever there is a bend in a fiber, there is a evanescent field which gets created, and once the evanescent field is created, the velocity of light in that particular field exceeds the velocity of light in the medium, which results in bending loss. The same can be illustrated here. We can see that there is a cladding, there is a core, and the radiation is in the cladding surface. The light gets radiated into the cladding surface, due to the curved surface or a bending of the optical fiber, which results in the evanescent field, creating the light to escape out of the fiber core into the cloud. So this is about a bending loss.